Today we will do the two most important exercises against knee pain. Two exercises, and they are usually sufficient in our experience to make the knee pain disappear completely. Please lie on your stomach, Vanessa. Then I will explain to you exactly what needs to be done now. So, you lie on your stomach, and now it's important that we raise the leg a little bit upwards so that the hip is slightly hyperextended, then the exercise will be more effective. And we do that by taking the fascia roll or also taking a book. We now take the book and put it under the knee. If it is too hard, you put a pot holder underneath or a folded towel. And now you see, now the leg goes a little higher. You can also put two books underneath and make it a little higher. The higher the knee is, the better. But it is important that the pubic region is still on the ground. And that the pelvis is not lifted, because then the effect is lost. So, when that has happened, Vanessa, please bend your knee. And now reach back with your left hand. Vanessa could do that, but most people who have knee pain cannot. That looks like the foot might go up to here. And then the person tries to reach for it, automatically bending their body a little here. Go into a little hip flexion here, then take the foot and go back down. Please don't do that, it doesn't work, because when you're so short that you practically have to bend at the hip to reach for something, then you will have difficulties afterwards to bring the groin all the way down, so leave the groin down. And extend your arm, either with such a tool that you simply hang your foot in there. And now it's best to take the thumb. Yes, go in there with the thumb. Perfect. And now move the hand forward like this, and then slowly. Keep going. It's best to put the foot up here, then everything will be nicely stretched in the front, and then keep pulling forward. So that you can stretch, or if you don't have such a tool, just take a belt and make it long enough accordingly. And you do that with the belt, or take a towel and wrap the towel around and reach back with both hands. Those are the options. Now it's important for the exercise, assuming you've come this far and you already feel the stretch in your thigh here. Yes, then you wait until it pulls less. And as it pulls less, you slowly approach more. She is now very flexible. Yes, Vanessa is not really the example of what might await you at home. That's why I'm pointing it out, yes. So don't be surprised if you already have real stretching pains from here on, which prevent you from wanting to stretch further. Yes, no matter where you are, whether here, here, or here, find your point and then go so far into the stretch that you have this stretching pain at the front of your thigh. The straight one must still be tolerable, and do that for 2 to 2.5 minutes. But the important thing, remember, the groin, your pelvis must stay fully down so that you do not bend into the hip. And now we continue with the second exercise, as you just noticed. That was for the front side. How was the exercise? Tell me. It was actually quite pleasant. As I said, I think I'm relatively flexible, so I have to go all the way to the limit. But it was definitely something I can incorporate into my daily routine, so it wasn't uncomfortable at all. It's also exciting because you might ask yourself, hey, Vanessa can bring her foot much closer to her buttocks. Why does she still have pain? And there it becomes clear again, the difference between the fascia and the muscles. Because with Vanessa, I would guess now, she is a personal trainer. Yes. And she's very active in terms of movement, so a lot of residual contractions build up from all the exercises she does with her clients, yes, and all of this leads to tension. The fascia is not the problem for her. The fascia is this connective tissue that is not controlled by the brain in terms of contractions and relaxations and so on. And because the fascia is loose, it allows the foot to reach, but the muscle, when it's trained into its tension, still poses a resistance, which can be worked out much easier. So this is actually a luxury situation for you, because if you eliminate the tension from the muscles, the problem is solved. Other people have the problem, like you maybe, that the fascia is too tight and too short. Then do the exercises accordingly to achieve mobility in the first place. And now we move to the back part of the body, emphasizing primarily on the calves and the back of the knee. And to do that, Vanessa, take off your shoe, then it can work better, and fully extend your knee. Perfect. Now the back of the knee is resting and the heel is resting, and that's when there is usually a problem with this exercise. Vanessa may not have it, Vanessa. Pull your foot back actively, keep your back straight, and grab your foot. Yes, she manages to do it, but very few manage to do it. They start to round the body in a way that the stretching on the back of the leg disappears. More into the back, that's what we want to avoid. That's why we'll show you how most people have to do it. They have to get an extension, either a loop or a belt or a towel. Something that makes the arms longer. Now go very strongly into the hollow of the back, very strongly into the hollow of the back. Yes, and the first action is you pull the foot back as far as possible, as far as it can go. And where does it pull now?
In the calf.
In the calf, exactly, upper calf. We start, so to speak, to build up the stretch from below, upper calf. And if it pulls in the upper calf, then you don't let the foot move forward at all. Stay completely straight. And you bring your belly button forward, and then you go forward by pulling more with your arms. And now you notice, where does it start to pull? In the back of the knee. In the back of the knee, maybe even a little bit up the back of the leg, above the back of the knee, and that is exactly what we want. You work your way into it for 2 to 2.5 minutes, but make sure to keep a strong arch in your lower back here, because then the entire tension goes directly onto the back leg line and you'll get it released. And in our experience, that often means that when you stand up, you feel like you don't even recognize your knee anymore because it feels so light, but Vanessa can tell us more about that. Vanessa, what are your questions about this exercise? Are they understandable so far?
Yes.
How much stretching do you have now and where do you feel it?
So I would say I have about 85% stretching, and I actually feel it mainly in the calf because that is also, I believe, the weak point for me.
I was just about to say, please don't forget, at home in front of the screen, every time you sit, you have to imagine you are shortening a large calf muscle. And that has a lot to do with knee pain, and therefore very, very important to pay attention to the calf. So always in the order we have shown, first the calf is stretched, then the torso moves forward, thereby shifting the stretch, the feeling of stretching more from the upper calf to the back of the knee, or even further into the back of the thigh, a little higher up, and then stay there for 2 to 2.5 minutes and always stay at this intensity. Speak up, tell me, how does it feel?
Yes, so it feels okay. As I said, I feel it the most in the calf. I think my hamstring is quite well stretched, but not the calf, so the calf definitely needs it.
So Vanessa could even go on to do the calf exercise in addition to these 2 exercises, but it's not necessary. It is important that in this exercise, first the calf is taken in and later the torso comes forward. Often it is done the other way around, then it pulls directly in the back of the knee and the calf is a bit left out. We will now do another routine together, an exercise routine. If you want to join in, please click here.